What's going on, guys? It's Naazir. In today's video, we're going to be going over how to get vintage for cheap or how to get vintage on a budget. Today I'm going to be going over different types of ways that you can get vintage on a budget and how to get it for cheaper. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. Now the first thing I'm going to recommend is thrifting. If you like to thrift or you're just into like vintage clothing and stuff like that, the first place you should always look is a thrift store. A lot of people have a Goodwill or a Salvation Army or something like that nearby, so I always recommend hitting the thrift first. By going to a thrift store and knowing what you're looking for, you'll probably find it for a way cheaper price than you will find it anywhere else. So I always recommend going to a thrift store first. If you don't like going to a thrift store for like a personal preference or anything like that, you could also check places like Plato's Closet, Buffalo Exchange, Ragorama, and things like that. I always say go and know what you're looking for. That is like the best thing that you could do, especially when going to like a thrift store or something like that, because if you know what you're looking for, then you'll know what type of style or what type of clothing goes into what you're looking for. And that can be a very essential to helping you narrow down where to look, how to look, or what to look for. Another thing that I'm going to say, which is also like a big thing, is digging is required for this. You're going to have to put in that time and put in that work to be able to find that really good piece or that really piece that you're just looking for in a thrift store. You're not going to walk into a thrift store like a lot of people in YouTube videos and 30 seconds later you're going to find like the most fire piece ever. Like, that does not happen in real life. For some people, maybe, but very like less likely than others. But you're gonna have to put in that work. Eventually, if you put in that work and put in that work continuously, you're going to find the piece that you're looking for. So without further ado, let's get into the next one. Another thing that I recommend is trading. This can also come extremely essential if you have friends that are also into vintage clothing, because that way you could always trade with your friends and stuff for pieces and things like that, or just other pieces that you might want. It's also really good with this to make sure that the trade that you're doing is a really fair trade. Now, I can speak from personal experience. I've done some bad trades in my time, but you always want to make sure that the trade is a very fair trade, not only for you, but for the person getting the other items. This can also help by trading, build your networking skills. By trading in your local area and stuff like that, you can build networking connections that can probably open doors that otherwise would have never opened for you. So I always say, take consideration into trading. You don't always have to thrift for it, and you don't always have to be like, if I can't thrift for it, then I'm not gonna get it, or if I have to trade for it, I'm not gonna get it. Because sometimes you'll have to trade to get those pieces that you really want. And without further ado, let's get into the next one. Now, the next one that we're going to be talking about is the apps. Now, these are the apps which are like GRAILED, DEPOP, eBay, if you even want to count that as an app. So these are the apps where they mostly specialize in vintage, streetwear, archive pieces and stuff like that. These are some pieces, or not pieces, but places where you could actually look for vintage clothing as well for cheap. The things that GRAILED and Depop offer is you can look for vintage, and you can also set your own price point, or I like to call it your limit, on what you're willing to spend on vintage pieces. Not only that, but if you know exactly what you're looking for, you can also type it in their search boxes and you'll be able to locate that piece, which is neat. Also, another tip that I recommend, or this is like a pro tip because I use this one a lot, you have to be able to negotiate with the seller. I know some sellers can sometimes be firm on their prices, but if you're really good with negotiating, you could probably get that piece you really want that was already cheap for even cheaper than it's listed for. So always make sure that you're able to negotiate, and always set a price limit on what you are looking to buy. Another thing that I like to add in is make sure that you're buying a quality piece for a quality price. Don't buy something that is paper thin, and I know some people like paper thin like shirts and stuff, I know, But don't buy something paper thin and it's not even gonna last you that long of a time, but you paid $500 for it. Like, that does not make any sense. So make sure that you're getting a good quality piece at a good quality price. You always want to make sure that the quality and the price that you're paying for an item match up, because you don't want to buy something that's super expensive but it's super cheap quality. Like, you want to make sure that you're buying pieces that are going to last you forever. Well, not really forever, but the period of time where you're in that phase of your clothing lifestyle. Last but not least, we have the secondary stores. Now, a secondary store can be anywhere in your area that does things like resell or just vintage specifically or anything like that. I also recommend these stores because not everything in that store will always be $500. I know we're used to seeing round two and stuff and seeing that they always have these high top dollar prices on everything, but you can actually walk into stores like that and not even have to spend any more than $50 on a piece. So don't rule these stores out when it comes to looking for vintage pieces. And not only that, but you might be able to find pieces that you're not going to find online or anything else like that. Or to make it even better, you might find a piece in that store that no one else is going to have. So there's also a plus in that too. But also, like what I said the first time, when it comes to thrifting and stuff like that, you're going to have to put in your time at these secondary stores. These stores usually have lots and lots of inventory most of the time when it comes to vintage clothing. So you're going to have to take your time and pick through every single piece until you find that one piece that just speaks out to you, or it's just like it has the effect. And without further ado, let's get to the outro. And that is all for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know down in the comments below if I left out any tips or anything on how to get clothes for cheap. I know there are a lot of methods out there, but I just wanted to give some of my methods that I use on a daily basis, basically, because I'm always buying something. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on this video, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.